beginning of the year, fishing's a little problematic. You can only fish for certain species, the water's fast and muddy, but don't worry, you just set your rod up and you hit the woods and find some wild edibles.
I see a few carp out here in the river. I'm going to rig up my rod just with a simple worm presentation. I've got a pre-cut rod prop here. It's easy just to stick down here in the mud. Make sure the fish doesn't tear away with your line. Set your drag low so you can hear your reel spinning and come running. Now in the early spring, the onions and the cattail shoots are very delicious and are very easy to find. So let's go try to find some of those. Now, along our trail here, we found some wild onions. They're in the allium family. We're going to dig some up here to show you the roots. Ryan, you want to give us a hand?
What you do is take a small hatchet or shovel, get right underneath the dirt, wiggle them up, pull them out. They have small white bulbs. These are edible all year round. In the springtime, they're raised to the surface by the rain. Summer and fall, they're deep down in the ground, maybe a couple inches down. You break them. They have an extremely strong onion odor. The grass-like basil leaves, a delicious wild edible. You can eat them right out of hand. Same with the white bulbs. The flowers aren't edible, but what they will do is open up. Small little bulbs and petals come out. I'm not sure which one in the allium family this is yet, if it's a nodding wild onion or a wild garlic. These can be edible depending on which plant. You want to make sure you identify and itemize properly.
While foraging, we always use the itemizing system. I stands for identify, T stands for time of year, E stands for environment, and M stands for method of preparation. You take those four and you always make sure you have 100% accuracy on what you're about to eat, and there's not going to be a problem. It's a dangerous game if you don't follow those rules. If you follow them, there's nothing to worry about.
This is a jack in the pulpit plant. You can tell by its 3-leaf pattern. Its flower is striped with purple and green, and inside it'll grow a berry cluster. You can tell if it's a male or female by that. Underneath, the root structure has a corm. If you dig the corm up, they're edible. They have to be prepared a certain way before they can be edible. This corm here is its root ball. You can break it off. It contains calcium oxalate crystals, which will burn your mouth if you eat it raw, which means you have to cook it or dry it out properly before you can eat it. You slice it up, dry it out, and it tastes very similar to potato chips. And it's supposed to be quite delicious. I've got some drying at home right now.
Jack in the pulpit is a prime example of the itemizing system. The M stands for method of preparation, and if you use the proper method of preparation and dry it out thoroughly, it's delicious. If you don't, it's toxic and will kill you.
The rest of the plant, sadly, is not usable, so you want to make sure you collect them in small amounts, or make sure there's a lot of them around before you collect them. You'll be able to see by the size of this jack in the pulpit that it's a different sex than the other one. That means the corm itself will be a different size when you dig it up. It's a much smaller corm. They're also edible, but you have to wait a little later in the season for these to be edible. Just by the river, checking my rod to see if we have any fish. I noticed there's this old bucket or jug of water here. In a survival situation, this could really help out. You could use it to hold your water, or to collect some water, even grow a plant in if you were there long enough. But as it stands, we're just down by the river collecting edibles, doing a little fishing, and we always take out more garbage than we bring in. We're here in the Nith River forest, and the best place to look for a cattail is in the whole cattail patch.
There's a few examples of some cattail shoots right here. I'll show you how to harvest them really easy. Just grasp firmly by the base of the plant. Give it a little bit of a wiggle, a twist. It should pop right out.
When you're harvesting wild cattail shoots, it's really important that you find a clean, pure water source that you're harvesting from. They act as a filter and they pull all the pollutants out of the water and clean them for the pond. But when you eat them, that's what you're eating. When you're harvesting your cattails and you're cleaning them, you want to make sure you pull off the outer fibrous layer. A good way to do that is take the outside layer here and pull it back. You can see it comes off. It's all very circular. You just pull off the outside layers and you can tell how woody they are by how stringy they are. You just pull off the outside few layers and then there inside is the tender, white, delicious core, and that's what you want. I usually harvest them about there. You can eat the inside here, but this side here you'll have to peel off. From here down will be totally edible and absolutely delicious.
Early season cattail shoots look a lot like irises. Irises are toxic, so you always have to make sure you identify properly, and that's an important part of the itemizing system. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something today.
Remember, safety first and always respect the forest.